diamond in the rough here, giving you some quick tips on how to construct a perfect, in my opinion, pastry crust. I have a small work area I'm working from. Some of the tools, you need a cutter. We'll explain that in a minute. I use different kind of rollers. Sometimes I use a fondant roller, and it gives a little bit of pattern in your pastry crust. That's fine. I also use a straight rolling pin with no ends on it because I have a small work area and I can get into corners of where I'm working easily. You can also use a small organized or perfectly tooled rolling pin as well. Look in your bakery shops to get these. Sometimes I get them from our ethnic grocery stores. Like this came from an ethnic grocery store in my area. I think a Asian grocery store. Straight piece of tiled, or rather tooled, smooth wood that is really efficient and ready to use. So that's what I use. I'm going to use my fondant roller today. I'll have some water here that had some ice in it. We'll talk about that later. So let's roll out. And I also have on the far end of my counter, I have some strips already cut because we need that. Sometimes you have to piece things together. So the trick with pastry crust is not to add too much flour if you can avoid it. Let your pastry crust rest after you finish cutting the fat into the flour. If you don't have time to do it the day before, as you get your pastry crust ready to roll out, and it's the same day, and you want to use it the same day, throw it in the freezer for a good 15 minutes while you drink maybe half a cup of coffee to make it chilled so it works a little bit easier for you. If it's too sticky, it's too hot probably, and you need to put it back into the freezer. So this is one I've already rolled out, and I make it as thin as what I need it to. You can see how thin that is. Easy to do. That's my oven going off. And I use mini pie pans. Easy to transport, easy to share, easy to sell and move. I'm putting a little bit of cold water around the perimeter. You can see my crust is not perfect. That is okay. Don't need it to be. And then I paste in. I stick in pieces, parts that's missing if necessary. I work on the edge of the foil, and that's whether it's a big pie or a little pie. But I cut off two. But we'll once we set up the crust, we will also cut off the excess. Here where you see I have a little bit of dip going in my crust where it didn't come up over the edge necessarily, you piece and part it because that's what is going to get covered by your custard or by your filling. You don't have to worry about it being perfect. Now, to put an edge on it, I have some flour off to the side, and I've floured my fingers, and I'm just going to do a simple point and tuck, as I call it. It is something that will come together quickly. Once it cooks and you have your contents of whatever your pie is, you will never see any of this. And the way my pastry crust is organized, it has a good bit of not just flour and fat in it, salt, the usual suspects. I add ingredient X to make it extra flaky so that when you bite it, that crust is going to taste almost like a glorified cookie or shortbread, but it's not sweet. Remember, it's a pastry crust. Where it's not going together, just make it work. And this is how you do the perfect crust. I'll show some photos of a tray in terms of my setup, and then we'll bake them and see how they work. Here are some of the filled crusts ready to go. You'll notice they're on a tray. This one here is a little slight. It doesn't have as much, no, this one doesn't have as much custard in it. These are my bean pies before they go into the oven. They will be ready to go. They're on a tray to make them easy to maneuver and get them in and out of the oven quickly. We'll see you in 30 minutes when everything is done. I'll put in a still picture.